30 years ago, the city of Chicago endured a week-long heat wave that really changed this city forever. More than 700 people died from heat-related causes.
Those deaths were so shocking. And roads buckled, the power grid failed, leaving many people without electricity. Our Lexi Sutter takes a look back at this tragic week in our history.
A historic heat wave moved into Chicago on July 13, 1995. On the first day, the temperature hit 106, but that felt like 120 degrees to the human body.
I remember it being so hot.
The heat was relentless, and the result was catastrophic.
I remember it being call after call after call after call.
Spencer Leak Jr. of Leak & Sons Funeral Home was a young funeral director at the time. It was his job to remove bodies from homes.
I remember being at St. Bernard, specifically Roseland Hospital, Provident Hospital, where there would just be hearses lined up outside waiting for doctors to come out and pronounce that deceased person that was in our vehicle. I remember in our lobby on Cottage Grove, I was apologizing to families because it was just so many families coming to make arrangements for their loved one at the same time.
Well, this will go down in the record books as one of the deadliest disasters in Chicago history.
739 people died over a 5-day period. Most were elderly, poor, and living alone without any access to air conditioning.
The way in which people died is anything but natural. It's fundamentally social. We're talking about hundreds of people who died alone, removed from neighbors, from family, unprotected by city service workers, and truly isolated in a way that is haunting and worrisome.
NYU professor and Chicago native Eric Kleinenberg authored a book about the tragedy. What he found was that Mother Nature wasn't the only one to blame, but there was a breakdown in communication and preparation.
The city of Chicago had a heat emergency plan in 1995. They forgot to use it. The mayor in 1995 stayed on vacation. So did the person in charge of dispatching the ambulances. So did the person in charge of the health department. So I don't think the city of Chicago took the heat seriously as a health problem.
3 months later, in September of 1995, Chicago launched its Office of Emergency Communications, now known as the Office of Emergency Management.
Coordination, collaboration, communication. That's really at the crux of what we do.
Standing in the OMC's Operations Center that acts as a glue for city responders during crisis, manager Kayla Lervier says technology has transformed the city's response and its resources.
Now, the advent of cell phones just makes that ability to communicate with the public in general just right at their fingertips and just like that. And then we're also talking about activating cooling centers, getting that messaging out, calling 311 if you want to request a well-being check. So we want to make sure we're checking up on our neighbors.
This kind of coordination came far too late for residents in July of '95, but lessons learned from that heat disaster, they've stayed top of mind ever since. Lexi Sutter, NBC5 News.